Alright guys, TouchCrab here back again today. Hope you're all enjoying your Tuesday. Today, a few big topics to discuss before the league begins this Friday. I've got a lot of content planned for the next few days. There's probably going to be a couple of double uploads actually over the next couple of days or so. Plenty to discuss today though as well. So like if you guys enjoy, subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. First of all, wanted to say today's video is sponsored by Draftbuff. I talked about them to some degree in yesterday's video as well, so I won't spend as much time on it today. But this is a fantasy esports platform. If you guys aren't aware, and a lot of esports now, fantasy esports is becoming a big thing. Draftbuff are really one of the leaders in that field. They offer fantasy esports and a number of things, especially Call of Duty, and given the CDL is this Friday, pretty much this is your last chance to get involved, so would highly recommend it. It's been a lot of good fun. I've had a couple of leagues that I've been in over the last few days or so. I talked about it yesterday and I would recommend it again today. There was a lot of success yesterday from the Find a Draftbuff League channel in my Discord that I set up, so the link once again will be in the description and the pinned comment to go and join that. If you go and find this Find a Draftbuff League, those are people who haven't, didn't sign up in time to the main Tactical Rab League that we're running. But if you guys want to figure something else out of your own back, a lot of guys have put together leagues on their own backs here and, figured out a way to make it work. So yeah, if you guys would like to get involved, don't have anyone to play against and do the league drafting, the reverse snake format to choose your team that you're going to have, this is, I think, one of the best ways to do it. So would highly recommend. Thanks a lot to Draftbuff once again for sponsoring the video. The link if you'd like to sign up, you have to go through the app, and the app is really, really smooth now. So great job to them. Much improvement over the previous season. Let's move on then to this. So Inflammable Fire points out to me the launch weekend's Minnesota Rocker limited edition hoodie. Now this is actually pretty fresh. I think there's a funny comment that he says here, like, did the CDL actually make this, given what we've seen from the merchandise before? Kind of nice. I think this is a limited edition. It's only available at the event. So if you guys are attending Minnesota, then this is your opportunity. Otherwise, I think this is going to be a little bit difficult to get your hands on. But it does actually look kind of nice, which is rare for the merch we looked at a few days ago. This as well. So Whale, a London Royal Ravens, have managed to get him alongside, who else they got? Some DJ bloke. Nicky Romero, actually, I think is the name. So he's going to be at London Royal Ravens event in just a couple of weeks now. And Whale will be joining him as well. So yeah, thanks to Mr. Mary Vertigo for pointing this out to me on Twitter. And this, again, this is crazy. The Codtacular podcast from Big Timer and MLG Puckett. Pretty big news, and some people have said to me, like, Rab, why don't you think about starting up a podcast and that? And I understand that sentiment. The issue I have with that is I talk about everything that goes on throughout the week anyway. I'd just be repeating myself if I did a podcast. And also, the podcast market is incredibly saturated right now. We've got Spitfire, we've got the Codcast, got Cam Allen started going up. You've got the Beyond the Call, I think, which some of the European amateur casters are doing. I'm sure there's another couple of ones I'm missing as well. I think even Adam Fitch is thinking of starting one up. And then you've got this thrown into the ring with Puckett back in the game alongside Big Timer. This is going to be a lot of fun. Like, I'm really looking forward to listening to this. Not a lot of the podcasts I keep up with just because it's too much content in a way. But, Big T and Bucket with Bryce Vicento as the first guest. That's going to be class, January 21st. And that's today. Very exciting indeed. This podcast will be on tonight. Potentially by the time you guys are watching this video, could be live on Puckett's Twitch channel. Here we go then to some big news. We've talked over the last few weeks about which individuals are going to be back on the casting desk. This is the confirmation we had. So Clint Maven Evans, of course, alongside Joey DeLuca. They're going to be back. So the duo is back. They have a really well-edited video here by the CDL. Honestly, this is really hype. I wanted to share with you a slightly different clip because this music is likely copyrighted. But, we've talked about that these guys are likely going to be back on the desk. They are indeed. Merk and Maven definitely confirmed now for the league, and some other individuals as well. Just before we go on to that then, wanted to say this. So Jess Brohard replied to this tweet saying, she's not going to be involved this season, so that's now confirmed. Jesse's not going to be doing some of the interviewing and all of that stuff as the CDL that she has been in the previous season. No particular comment from myself. It just is what it is sometimes. Maybe even, we've talked about the potential of Puckett taking over some of the interviewing roles. Depends on the format of the event to what degree, a host kind of interviewer type person like Jess is required. Then we add this to follow up from Momo. This came out just very recently indeed. That is that Momo and Miles the Ross are going to be back in the CDL for this season. They put together a video themselves, 1 minute 45. Not as well done, I don't think, as Maven and Merks, but regardless, still pretty cool stuff. These guys are definitely confirmed back now for the league. And Benson then replies, "Did I miss the memo about me making a video with my duo at Chancecast?" And Chance replies to it as well, saying, "Gonna have a WWE style entrance on Friday," which says to me that these guys are also confirmed back into the league. kind of interesting to a degree, because I just saw Benson do a post on Reddit saying that domination isn't particularly entertaining to watch, and he has some suggestions at how it could be improved. As soon as I saw that, I was like, damn, is Benson not in the CDL, given he's talking about the league, but he's talking about it in a way that, you know, criticism of the game and all that stuff? I thought maybe that would be a little bit of a grey area if he was contracted to the league. Turns out it looks like he is. Like, this isn't like official confirmation, but it seems to be definitely what they're implying, that Benson and Chance are going to be back. So that seems to be the 3 casting duos we're looking at confirmed. Maven and Merk, you know, Miles and Momo, and Benson and Chance, hopefully at least, like, you know, hopefully these guys are back in the scene, because, you know, especially Chance and Maven, I think, are the 2 best casters we have. Just phenomenal stuff. Obviously, people have different opinions on the individuals. Just wanted to share with you guys this clip of them before we move on to the latter section of the video, where we're going to talk about the CDL team camos, which is in the title and thumbnail of the video. So got this from Ethan Spencer. So Ethan, who works at MLG for a long time. This is what happens when Maven speaks before he thinks to Joe DeLuca. Really hilarious clip if you guys haven't seen this before.
You know, I mean, you've been in that position before where you're just getting, you know, pounded for like an entire first half. It's got to be super frustrating.
Yeah, definitely so. We'll see how they can bounce back. There we go.
Couple opening kills. Here we go. Back and forth. Felony. Oh, not able to take that. Methods. Gonna get the... Oh, Joe, we're having too much fun today, buddy. Sorry, we had Revan dancing off to the side. He's very distracting. Revan, we love you, buddy. But OpTic taking it to him here in the opening moments. Only 2 up right now for E United. Crimsix able to get the... Joe, you gotta stop laughing. And Revan, I swear, if you come over here again...
So I know people have mixed opinions of Maven. Personally, I think he's the best talent we have in terms of a broadcaster. Like, he's Mr. Do-It-All. He's a fantastic caster, but he also, you know, brings a lot of energy to the game. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that would definitely miss his presence if he wasn't in the CDL. I think we've done a good job to keep hold of him. And I think he said in an interview at some point, like, he's down to keep casting Call of Duty forever if he can, because he loves his job, which is great to see. So this came out from Hex yesterday, going through a few things in the next couple of minutes related to CDL team camos. They were confirmed yesterday into the game in an Activision blog post, but it seems like they didn't intend to confirm them. They went up in-game on one of the in-game tabs saying that these are going to be launched in the coming days, and then for a somewhat mysterious reason, they have all been removed and without a trace, with no comment from Activision, which really does, it strikes a strange chord. I imagine this is just the case because they announced it, but it wasn't intended to be announced so quickly, so now they've removed everything. But in that kind of case, like, why would you just remove everything? If you'd have just left it as it was, people would have assumed, you know, this is perfectly fine. They're just announcing it a few days ahead of release. And, you know, removing it, it's kind of the Streisand effect in a way. Anyway, Hex comes out, thanks to Stevie for pointing this out to me, says, look, the Chicago Huntsman, like, shush, this is the kind of stuff we're going to see. And here we go then from Intel Call of Duty. So the CDL will come out and make a blog post on Activision's website. Players can visit the store this week to get official Call of Duty League gear for your operators in-game. The packs include home and away skins for your operators, weapon camos that can be equipped to any weapon, calling cards and more. Celebrate your favorite team by heading to the franchise store in Modern Warfare and scroll down to pick up the Call of Duty League team bundle of your choice, scheduled to launch on January 24th. Now, first of all, massive props. Like, this is really cool. This is something that you would expect to have been a guarantee, but of course it's just been announced now, and it's not just camos, it's also gear, it's watches, it's things you can put on your gun, it's emblems, all of this stuff. I love stuff like that to help try and support your team. And, you know, maybe you're in a lobby and you see someone with Minnesota Rocket emblem and you're like, what exactly is that? You look into the game. That can be an avenue into esports for so many people. And it really is such a necessity, I think, especially for a franchise league. Now we have it. That's great news. Nothing to say about that. Of course, there has been some concerns about some of these, some of the camos they're using. So this is what Charlie Intel says. Here's a look at Atlanta FaZe, Dallas Empire, and a Huntsman. I imagine they chose these 3 because these are the 3 that are considered to be the strongest teams in the game right now. This is what we're looking at then, just to look at it on a larger screen. So this is the Atlanta FaZe camo, and if you just compare this to the Dallas Empire, it is just the same camo, and the costumes are exactly the same. It's just the color scheme has changed. I guess to some degree this is some laziness, like it was with the other team, the merchandise and stuff that they've announced over the last week or so. But at the same time, it's still pretty cool. And yes, okay, it's like a tiger skin kind of camo. All they've done is change the colors. Not an incredible amount of effort has gone into it, but this is still far, far, far better than nothing. And I still think they're pretty cool. Like, I'd be happy to buy the London Royal Ravens version of this if I actually felt like ever playing the game, which I don't, but regardless, the point still stands. So these are the three, and these are the three that we have available right now. But then the real interesting thing comes that, okay, coming 24th of January, just as the league kicks off, Camos launch, everything happens at once. That would be cool to see. The really interesting part of this is it would make sense that when they did this announcement, it's a few days before. They announced it on the 20th, the 21st. They say, 3 days time, the league is beginning. All these camos are going to drop. Like, get ready. The strange thing is that these have all been removed. So let's just go scroll back up here to the Charlie Intel tweet they did. Updated. Activision has removed all references to CDL team camos from one of their posts where some images were shown, and have completely deleted the With This Week in Call of Duty blog post. The blog post is gone. If you want to go onto the game now and try and find them in the tabs, that's gone as well, which is strange because as Charlie Intel imply, it's not so clear that this is only happening because they didn't mean to announce it and now they're backtracking and just announcing it in a couple of days' time. It wouldn't make any sense. Like, let's say they intended to announce this tomorrow on the 22nd, 2 days before. That would be reasonable, and let's say they accidentally added everything on the 20th instead. Like, who really cares? Why is that the end of the world? Let's just, if I was Activision, you just roll with it, You say, okay, fine, we made a mistake, but it doesn't really matter. We've announced it, there's no big repercussions. If anything, we're actually going to sell more or generate more hype by making it them. By adding it and then removing it, you put all these questions in people's minds like, what's going on? Was it intended to be removed? Is it still going to be in the game? All of these questions come to light, which of course is a pretty big deal. Hopefully nothing changes. Hopefully they're still launched as planned. Obviously these have been always already designed and planned to come into the game, like this for the Dallas Empire, for example. This is the Huntsman one, which maybe doesn't look slightly so nice, but you've got a couple of different options. The camo's decent as well. So yeah, pretty cool. I just hope that these are actually released with the game as intended, because the last time we saw something like this was did we even have these in World War II? I'm not even sure we did. I remember Black Ops 3, we had them late in the cycle, but obviously that is so long ago now to actually have team stuff in the game. Was that the last time we had them? Please correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like we had them in World War II, but I might be getting myself confused here. Definitely didn't have them in Black Ops 4. Unless it was right at the end. So, yeah, I guess good to see. With the Franchise League, it's as expected. Good to have this confirmed. It would be nice to have League Play as well that would launch when the game came out as well. But, maybe that's too much to ask. The technology just isn't there yet. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching as always. Thank you to Draftbuff, of course, for sponsoring the video. Like if you guys enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new. I'll see you next time.